Hey guys, it's TheOverallOtaku, and in this video we are going to talk about the new Demon Slayer movie and why I consider it to be a work of art. Originally the movie was released back in October 2020 but was later postponed due to the pandemic. Finally, Mugen Train or Infinity Train is back in theatres last week and boy am I excited to watch it. Sadly, my plans got knocked straight out of the park because of the increasing COVID patients in India and a lockdown being issued throughout the whole country. I was genuinely disappointed by this, but then there are other people who are suffering more than me and their lives being affected due to the whole pandemic. I had to wait for one of my subscription websites to upload the film, and surprisingly it took less than a day. Like, seriously, how fast are these people? So anyways, me and the boys ended up watching the movie on Discord, and to be honest with you, it wasn't the best experience watching a movie on a 17-inch display, and I was also jealous watching others post their Instagram reels, clips on social media and just having an absolute blast. Also, I recreated the Eren Yeager TikTok because why not?
Eren Yeager.
Anyways, I tried my best to create a theater-like ambience at my home so I could get a proper cinematic experience.
Got everything hooked and set up. Here's my cat just chilling. So, got some popcorn and some Coca-Cola. Yep, it's movie time.
It was an absolute banger watching this movie. I almost cried at the end of it. The fight scenes are absolutely stunning and the animation quality is on a whole nother level. If you still haven't watched this movie, I highly recommend it to watch it in theaters or on a television, but not on a PC or a laptop. Ufotable, the creator of Kimetsu no Yaiba, did an impeccable job. They're already famous for making animes like God Eater, Fate's Stay Night and the Fate Zero series. Hats off to Ufotable for doing an amazing job. You can genuinely see their hard work and effort put into this film. The animation quality is just admirable and the fight scenes are aggressive and fast and straight to your face. It's like they took the art style straight out of a museum and put it into the film. It's that good. Although there are a few CGIs in the movie and I know it could be a big turn-off for a few people, especially the AOT fandom as they are infamous for bullying animators off the internet. Good job. There are only few CGI effects in the movie and they are not bad either. To be honest, they are actually good and most importantly, they won't take you out of the moment. The one thing I liked about the Demon Slayer Season 1 was the incredible soundtrack. For me, a good soundtrack really captures the moment and we can see that in the movie. The music and soundtrack was composed by Yuki Kajiura and Go Shina. I'm really sorry if I butchered their names. I've been listening to their OCTs during my workout for the past few days now. One thing I was skeptical about before watching the movie was the pacing. As we all know, most of the anime films have a 10 to 20 minutes of recap, but with Kimetsu no Yaiba, there are no fillers or recap. The movie starts right where we left out in Season 1. There are no long build-ups or any backstories in this film. You get the first piece of action literally 15 minutes into the movie. Overall, the Demon Slayer movie is action-packed and has multiple jaw-dropping moments. In order to watch Season 2, I will have to watch this movie to understand the context. Whereas, let's just say I'm trying to watch My Hero Academia Season 5, I won't need to watch the previous two movies as they are not connected to the main storyline and I could completely skip them. Let's say you're a fan of the Demon Slayer movie or the Demon Slayer franchise in general, I would recommend you to watch either Inuyasha or Bleach, and if you're a fan of the modern shonen animes, I would recommend you to watch My Hero Academia, Jujutsu Kaisen or even Fire Force. While I was editing this video, I found a real life replica of the Demon Slayer Infinity Train. And how cool is that? Ufotable really knows how to advertise their products. This is an actual functional train that goes from Kumamoto Station to Hakata Station. Now we are going to talk about some spoilers. If you still haven't watched the movie, go skip to the timestamp down below for the conclusion. Finally, we could talk about the fight between Rengoku and Akaza. And I don't know about you guys, but for me it has to be the top 5 best animated fights of all time. Going back in times during the 90s, Asuka vs. Eva series was considered to be the best anime fights of that time. Moving forward to the 2000s, where two old rivals Naruto and Sasuke finally clashed and gave their all from start to finish. And who could forget the endless punches and kicks being thrown between Eren and Reiner in AOT Season 2? Coming to my point, the fight between Rengoku and Akaza sets a new benchmark and tells us how far the shonen series has come in the past 25 years. Speaking of the final fight, I really like Akaza as the main antagonist. We see good character development by him in the manga, and he firmly believes in cutting off the weaklings and becoming stronger and stronger every day. His cursed combat technique, sensational voice acting, and a catchy OCT really makes him a good villain for the movie. Also, let's just say someone would give me $10 for every time Akaza calls Rengoku by his first name, that is Kyujiro, I would sure be the richest person on this planet. Like bro, he's not your childhood friend, stop acting like one. Akaza does an amazing job breaking Rengoku's spirit. He saw Rengoku's true potential and was reluctant to make him a powerful demon. For a moment during the fight, there is complete silence, and we see Rengoku defeated. I was certain that Rengoku was going to join Akaza, but my boy had that never give up mentality and beats the shit out of him with the 9th Katha. Even though I was spoiled about Rengoku's final Katha, the scene was more than enough to make me order a fake samurai sword from Amazon. The final fight was so entertaining that I almost forgot about the first one between Inosuke and Tanjiro against Enmu, the lower demon moon. Not that the first fight was bad or anything, it was actually pretty impressive and set a good tone for the rollercoaster of our experience we are about to get. The dream concept was quite unique in compared to the other demons, and to be honest, on paper it doesn't seem like the worst way to go out, as you're living in the perfect world created by your own mind. That's why we see multiple people who are suffering from various health issues or loss of a loved one take Enmu's offer. But in reality, they're just trying to avoid their problems and not accept it and move on. Also, I love how the kid with tuberculosis who enters Tanjiro's soul literally gets enlightened and gets a change of heart. Next thing you know, they're sending inmates for rehab in Tanjiro's mind. From the previous Demon Slayer season, we know even after all the horrendous crime a demon may have committed, Tanjiro still tries to find the good human part that still exists in them. But this time, he doesn't hold back and goes all out. He literally karate chops the kids and doesn't have any regrets slicing off Enmu's head. Also, side note, I thought the scene where Tanjiro almost commits seppuku in real life was pretty clever. He had full faith that his family won't betray him and didn't thought twice before cutting his own neck. We see major improvements from Inosuke. He's not the same annoying board we saw back in season 1. Surprisingly, this time he cares about others' people's life, like the train operator, and isn't afraid to ask for Tanjiro's help even as a lord. After Rengoku's death, he was the one to boost the team's morale, but sadly couldn't hold back his own tears. There are no major problems with this film and it's almost flawless, though there are a few little minor problems, but I won't think it would have made that much of a difference. For example, I really wanted to see more Zenjutsu in action. We saw so much of Inosuke, Tanjiro, and even a good chunk of Nezuko in the beginning, but sadly, we only had like 20 seconds worth of Zenjutsu in action. The other tiny issue I had was some of the dialogue sounded way too cliche or corny, but nothing as bad as, with the power of anime and God, I finally defeated Drip Goku.
As the movie progresses, we get to know a little by little more about Rengoku. Before this arc, we didn't know anything about him as a Hashira and had no sentimental value attached to him. But in the end, his death feels the closest to the heart. We feel a surge of frustration and sadness as we see Akaza run away. Our strong emotions that we just felt was beautifully portrayed by Tanjiro. Even when Tanjiro was injured, he cried his heart out, and in reality, Rengoku wasn't the one who was defeated. He saved all the 200 passengers on board and fulfilled his duty as a Hashira. Akaza, on the other hand, who clearly thought of himself as the superior, ran away and tasted defeat. I also love how even at his brink of death, Rengoku still cares about Tanjiro's wounds and told him not to die on him or else he would fail at his job to protect everyone. However, all the sacrifices are not in vain. As we see in the final talk, Rengoku guides Tanjiro to go look for old manuscripts left by the preceding flame Hashira in the Rengoku residence, which might lead to more information about Hinokami Kagura. In his final moment, Rengoku sees his mother who assures him that he had kept his promise of protecting the weak, and with that being said, we see Rengoku's eyes slowly closing as he passes away with that one last smile.
Summing up all my points, I think the Demon Slayer movie perfectly encapsulates the thrilling action, heavy emotions, with a little hint of comedy and humor. This movie could be enjoyed by literally anyone. Even that one friend of yours who refuses to watch anime would have a breathtaking experience watching this highly detailed and animated kathas being pulled. Movies like Spirited Away, Akira, and Your Name were the pioneers who changed the way we watched animated movies. I think Kimetsu no Yaiba did something similar and deserves the hype it has created. The Demon Slayer movie also does not do anything different from the shonen films. It is a simple and straightforward movie which does everything perfectly. Some might even call it a work of art.